continuous grain box. And what that means is that if we start here at the back corner and go all the way around, the grain flows all the way around the box until we get to the corner where we started, because that corner was the extreme ends of the board that we started with. So this is a really neat way to make a box. It's very, very attractive, and it's all about making accurate cuts here on the miter saw so we can basically fold all of these pieces together with that miter joint. So a couple things. First thing we need to do is make sure the saw has been well tuned, and this one is set up and ready to go, making perfect 90-degree cuts in this direction, but I need to bevel the cuts, so I'm going to lay the head down to 45 degrees right there. Now, it's going to be a lot easier to cut the parts if we add a little shop-made jig to the miter saw. So I'm going to add this table, and you're going to see the importance of this in just a sec. I'm just going to clamp that right onto the fence there so it stays in place. The next step involves the board that you're going to work on using you're going to make the box out of. And what I want to do is make sure I get all these parts back together correctly. So on what's going to be the outside of the box, just make kind of a random line. And when we fold all these parts together later, that line is going to help you get everything in the right spot. First thing I need to do is just cut through the jig, and that's going to show me exactly where the saw blade lives. Now, the benefit to this is that because the saw made this cut, I know exactly where the 45-degree angle is going to be on my pieces. Now, on that first cut, a lot of dust flew because I had this fence in place back here, and that prevented the dust from being able to get to the dust extractor back here. So it's going to be better on the next few cuts. The next thing we need to do is take our board, lay that good face down here on the jig, and I'm going to let the end of this project just a little bit past my 45-degree angle cut and get a miter cut on the end of this board. Now, on subsequent cuts, what I'm going to do is rotate this end for end. And I'm going to mark on here, right on my jig, what I want the lengths of my box parts to be. So I'm going to slide to the pencil line and cut my first part. Now here's the key to making these miters work. We're done with this piece. What I need to do is rotate this one so I've still got good face down. This is where the jig is really going to pay off. Here on my side, what I'm doing is I'm lining the 45-degree cut on the piece with the 45-degree cut on my jig. So short point to short point, I've got those two aligned. And that's where I'm ready to make the next cut. Now this gets rotated. Remember, you're going to rotate between all your cuts. You're never going to flip the board. I'm going to position the board for the length of my other side. Cut this end off. Now we repeat the process by rotating short point to short point again. Do another miter. Look at how nicely the box came out. I've got band clamps on it and it's just temporarily put together. I don't have any glue in here yet. But what I did was I followed my squiggly lines around. So they meet across this corner. That tells me those two corners go together. They meet here. Those two corners go together. And what's so cool is the way that the grain flows, just like my squiggly line does, from this side to this side. It's all about having good accurate miters and good accurate crosscuts so that when you close these joints, everything closes up and folds together and the grain flows continuously around the box. So this is a great project. Get your miter saw set up as well as this one and give it a try.